was really young. In fact, my parents forced me to face them. I was born and raised in England, and my parents had moved to England when they were young with their families. My mum got married to my dad when she was 17, and they recreated an oppressive, orthodox Punjabi household in the city of Bradford. My siblings and I were to be decorative, quietly doing our chores, staying in the background. Our thoughts, our hopes, our wishes were unimportant. We were not allowed to date, as our marriages were to be arranged. We had no voice, we had no choice. One day, a man came round to our house, and I was 14, and he showed a picture of a boy to my mom. And after he left, my mom showed me that picture, and it was going to be the man that I was supposed to marry when I was 18. I didn't really have any say in the matter. Within a few weeks, the boy's Tinder was in Bradford, and a meeting had been set up. I was told I could only say hello to him and sit next to him quietly. This boy put his arm around my shoulders while we posed for pictures with his family. I didn't realize it then, but apparently that was my engagement. The following year, we went to India, to Punjab, for a family holiday. And then we visited Satinder's village, and we met his parents and his family. There was a party, and again, I had to pose for pictures, and I had to be polite. And I realized that this was another engagement party, and I was a 15-year-old guest of honor. And I thought it was a holiday, but really, it was a business trip. The business of engagement and arranged marriage, and also to buy clothes and jewelry for my wedding. The next couple of years went by, and I was 17. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
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 So I was 17. I had applied and been accepted into a college in Leeds, but my mum forbade me to attend, reminding me that as I was getting married soon, there's no need for further education. He's been waiting to marry you since you were 14. You have to make an effort. So I enrolled in a government training program where they taught secretarial skills and then gave us job placements. Towards the end of the training program, I knew I had to run away as soon as I could after I turned 18, because the marriage was coming up and I didn't want it. So one day, I caught a taxi from near our shop, and I escaped. I bought a one-way ticket on a bus to London, and I had never been to London before. I didn't know anyone there, and I didn't know where I was going to stay. And during the entire 5-hour trip, I was petrified that my family had discovered I was gone and might be following me. I had £5,000 savings from making samosas, which was a part-time job I did from the shop, and also from the job placements. So when I got to London, I found a cheap bed and breakfast in central London until I could find a room in a small house. And the next few weeks went by trying to settle in and find odd jobs. I was really homesick sometimes, so one day I decided to call home and let my family know I was okay. My mom answered the phone and she said, "Your grandma's really ill. She's been sick. We're so worried. Please come home." As I was really fond of my grandma, I decided to go home to visit. I know what you're thinking. Big mistake. Yes.
That's what we're thinking right now.
Yes, it was. My grandma was just fine. This was a trick, and it was emotional blackmail. The pressure and guilt were put on me to marry Satinder. How are we going to tell everyone that you don't want to get married to him? He's been waiting all this time. His brother and sister-in-law love you like a sister. You can't do this to them, was the justification. It was just all a blur, and I felt defeated. So I gave in, and I was sent to Denmark to a wedding to someone I had no common ground with, not even language. I didn't speak fluent Punjabi, and he didn't speak any English. I have blocked out the wedding night and the sham honeymoon to Venice and Rome. Upon our return to Copenhagen, I told Satinder I didn't want to be intimate with him and would sleep on the sofa. Behind my back, he called my family, and the next thing was my dad was in Copenhagen trying to talk me into trying harder with the marriage. And I told my dad, no, I really want out, but he wouldn't listen. So the next thing is he and my husband went to a bar to drink. About an hour later, Satinder came home alone and drunk. He told me he was mad at me for being denied his rights as my husband for so long. And he said I was bad, and that if he couldn't have me, no one else could either. He then told me he had every right to have sex with me. So he started strangling me, slapping me hard. And I knew instinctively that I had to think fast and had to fight to save my life. So I begged for forgiveness, told him that I was sorry, and that I would do whatever I could to make him happy, to make it right, and that I had made a big mistake. He relaxed his hold on my neck, but proceeded to fulfill his sexual desires. After the violent act, he went to go get my dad, but my dad somehow returned before him. I told my dad what had happened. My dad just said, he's your husband. He has every right to do that to you. I was appalled. I managed to get away from these two bullies, from the evil husband, and from the dad who couldn't protect his daughter. So I escaped down those stairs, 100 stairs, out to the street. For the second time in my life, I was running away. I'm going to speak faster. For the second time, I felt the same fear as I took a taxi to a friend's house. I filed a police report of a rape and abuse. And within a few days, I went to the apartment accompanied by colleagues to retrieve my belongings. Satinder had destroyed the apartment so I couldn't get my deposit back, and had taken my jewelry and my personal possessions. I want to just let you all know there's a very fine line between arranged marriage and forced marriage. How can any 14-year-old know what she really wants or say yes to marriage? My heart aches for my 14-year-old self. I wish I could help her now and tell her to be strong and say no. I was robbed of my childhood as I was domesticated starting at age 7 for a life of serving a husband and his family. I am speaking up against these atrocities practiced even today, here in the USA, in the UK, and in India. Now, I have a voice.